Hello, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural episode of none other than the podcast I'm deeming Talking Shop. This is basically the first ever Hazard Production podcast where I just get together with a bunch of my friends, and that includes anybody I find interesting, and we just talk shop. It's sort of a fly-on-wall podcast, so, don't take it don't take it if there isn't any sort of structure involved. This is just a pilot episode, so we're still getting a lot of the kinks out. And this was pretty impromptu, but here we go. Alright. Damn it. Okay, wait a minute. I think...
Mama made me mash my M&Ms.
You're fine. The levels are gonna
Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
Yeah, the level's fine, but...
Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
Shush, please. I need to get these set. That's way too... Alright, that works.
Did you know that if you say my cocaine, you are saying Michael Caine in his own voice?
My cocaine. Ooh. That is very... And I added a little bit of a British inflection there. It's like Master Wayne. Master Wayne, if you must. I'm sorry, I just can't bury any more Waynes. So, this is just a pilot episode, so it's kind of impromptu, but at the same time, what's up, people? This is Pat Hazard Simpson, and we are currently with Mr. Patrick Gibney. He's a fellow filmmaker from, well, my hometown, yeah, from Jersey. And
that damn
how many
left hook.
Yeah. How many years have we known each other, man?
Second grade.
Second grade.
So.
I was trying to kind of formulate in my head. It was like 14 years, man.
Yeah, 13, 14 years.
Yeah. Holy shit.
I'm old.
Nah. Well,
we are.
We are, but at the same time, we're young at heart. No, we're not. But yeah. So this is a special little podcast that I am calling Talking Shop, which is basically where I go and I get to interview or talk to people about what they do, whatever their visual medium is. For this guy, it's a film, whatever. So the big thing that we're here to talk about is Flower 23. But before that, I want to just talk about sort of your history in filmmaking in general. Like, when did you start filmmaking, and when did you start basically making your own stuff?
Well, I started in high school.
Mm-hmm.
When we were going to high school together.
Right.
So you've been there the whole time, because I think you got into it first. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, I like that, I'm going to try that. And then I was like, oh, I like it too. So
right.
That got me into it mostly. But
if I remember correctly, the first thing you and I ever worked on, and I don't know if that was freshman year, I thought it was actually in between middle school and high school, was the Heinz commercial.
Oh yeah.
The Heinz commercial was I think the first thing you and I actually worked on together.
I don't remember when any of that.
It was all I know is that I asked you to come over. We were just hanging out, and I'm like, you know what? Because we saw
our friends did something.
Yeah, Alex Maicio did he did a couple of them,
and they were really good too.
Right.
We were like, we want to do that.
We want to do that. They were ridiculously funny and low budget and bullshit.
Blood all over the wall.
Right.
Heinz will blow your mind. And of course the blood was ketchup.
It was Heinz ketchup and corn syrup. It was because we couldn't afford getting...
It wasn't even corn syrup, it was olive oil or something.
I don't know. I just remember that we used Heinz ketchup as the blood.
It didn't look like blood.
Well, it looked
was red.
It looked like brain glue. I mean, it looked like you were hematobic. But it was that was kind of the start of it, really, right? Yeah. I mean, and then
all that
from high school, then
even in middle school, we would always I was like, oh, we got this movie idea, and oh, let's try to do a machinima thing, and
yeah,
of course none of it ever happened because we didn't have motivation.
Red Hot Alpha Team.
Team Alpha.
Fire Team Alpha, as I called it, Red Hot Alpha Team. I remember that. That was so bad.
I'm systematically putting pieces of that into other things to do.
You have that?
No, the names.
Oh, you mean Sputnik?
I'll name characters after that, and I'll take plot things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, what was the plot things that we were talking about?
I wrote one script, but I don't remember if it was funny or not.
I mean,
I have them on a floppy disk somewhere.
Yeah.
3.5 floppy yard.
And I mean, you and I. When was the first media class we had together? Was it the sophomore year or freshman year of high school? Sophomore year.
I don't know. I took.
Oh wait, no.
No, it was senior.
It was freshman.
No, it was senior.
Freshman year, because do you remember you had your VHS camera?
Yes.
And you beat me over the head with a crutch because you wanted.
I have that tape.
You have that tape?
I have that tape upstairs.
You need to burn that to a DVD so I can own it and proudly
that
show
was,
it to my kids.
That was horrendously awkward and.
Nah, that was wonderful.
I was like,
that was how to make toast.
I was,
and you're,
I was like
you're,
30 pounds overweight. I had like a giant like Fox News t-shirt,
right?
On.
No, and the best
and
part,
like a bowl.
and the best part about it was like your sense of humor at that time was beat up on the cripple kid.
Well, I wanted my orange juice.
Right. And I remember I played the cripple kid outside.
And it did it on VHS.
It's a VHS.
The VHS editor, you would take the VHS tape, scan it in. I remember I taped over an episode of Emerald, so that was my credits was Emerald.
Oh, right. That was brilliant.
Oh, man. That was so long ago.
Okay, so, and then we sort of back on and off doing films together,
and
then we would do our own stuff.
The big thing was junior year for the
Directors.
film festival, yeah.
The Directors was the first one, and the story about that is that initially you and I were going to act in it.
Was
and
it?
That was initially what you wrote it
I'm very glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, initially you and I were going to act in it, and then Alex and Paul were going to film it. Or no, it was going to be whoever could hold the camera at the time. And none of our friends who were like, hey, you guys own cameras and know how to work them. Let's have you guys film it. We were like, yeah, well, now you guys can do it. They didn't know how to work it.
I didn't.
No.
I don't know. I was just like, whoa, actors. That's a new thing.
Right. So then with the directors and I edited it together. And I remember the final edit that you guys got to watch. We were all after school, like, I think 2 days before the film festival. And this was back when we was using Final Cut Express. So we had to continuously render it out, like every single time that we had to fix it. So we were sitting in the hallway. Yeah, watching it, and I was like, "Oh God, I feel so bad for these people."
Well, it wasn't. I remember watching it, and I was just like, "Just show it to me when it's done."
I mean, yeah.
And then my writing style at the time was. Well, here's a very basic outline. I'm sure we'll think of something while we're there.
You know, we were filming basic mumblecore before we knew what mumblecore was.
Kind of. But I remember, because it was so basic and because we didn't know what we were doing, it was all, like, heavily relied on, like, the Star Wars exposition.
Oh, right, the Star Wars. Oh, God.
But you didn't know what the script was.
I didn't know what the script was.
So the exposition had nothing to do with the movie.
You were the one who was just like... No, holding it close to your heart.
Well, and then, oh man, I found the script again like last year and was like, really? Oh yeah, that's right. None of this happened. I didn't write any of that design.
And then I remember I started writing a...
I wrote Hitler into it.
Yes, you did.
Hitler was a character.
Well, no, that happened in the beginning.
We replaced it with a dude.
The Undertaker.
Yeah, because I had an Undertaker mask.
Yeah, because I was like, this is gonna get really, really ugly if we entered this in the film contest.
Well, they go to like a knockoff film festival in an Indian reservation.
Right.
Called Rain Dance.
Well,
it's a rain dance film because they got kicked out of Sundance.
Well, what can we do?
And then they leave and they're
Best
like,
part about that entire movie.
Well, anything taken out of context could be considered a hate crime. So we're not gonna read too much into that.
I do have to say one of the best things about that movie kind of had the weird thing where we were doing mumblecore at the time. Like that was kind of our basic mumblecore.
I don't even know what that is, but yeah, I guess
mumblecore.
It's like they mumble and it's like Michael Cera is great and everything. Let's cast him and put some witty soundtrack in the background.
Well, no, we were doing basic mumblecore, but then it was also sort of like the beginnings of, Be Kind, Rewind, where there was a whole montage of parodying stuff.
That was 2008, because we did Cloverfield.
Yeah.
But it was before they knew what the title was, so it was just called Untitled J.J. Abrams Project.
That was cool, and I like that. Or was it Finding Liberty?
It was Untitled J.J. Abrams Project number 2.
And then the
Harry Potter 23. And Harry Potter again.
Killing Private Ryan. I like that. Actually, I liked Killing Private Ryan out of all those sketches.
I wasn't even there when you filmed.
No, you weren't. I filmed that whole
then.
entire intro thing. That was the one thing that I filmed with the No Bone movies. And I was like, I was so proud of that.
It was a good intro.
I was so proud. And now that we've watched a bunch of movies, you realize that it's very much reminiscent of Reservoir Dogs. Or no, you said you wanted to be like Reservoir Dogs, but it's more reminiscent of Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, with the slow motion, and he hits the guy with the tripod.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just like, well, that's the same.
Yeah, well,
I think it was floating
great minds think alike,
in the universe. It was floating, and I accidentally plucked it out of.
Yeah,
everything's a remix. I might have seen it in a commercial or something.
Well, no, there's that's a cultural thing now. Is remix culture? Is
it's always been suppressed recently because. Like folk songs and stuff have always been notoriously just, oh, I like this too, let me just write new lyrics for it.
Yeah.
And then when you get into the age of people copywriting things,
I just found out that Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer was a remix of an original, like
the national anthem, like every like American folk song. Mm-hmm. Most of Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
He didn't do it on purpose.
No, Bob Dylan took it from everybody else. Like that was his whole thing. Is like none of these lyrics are my own.
Well, the lyrics were his. The songs.
It's like these songs are all my children.
I heard this on the radio on the way to the station.
Right. Okay.
But so that's actually a recent thing. Is I've kind of stopped worrying about. Oh, did someone else do this already?
No, yeah. I mean, that's kind of been like I was telling you about that animation project that I was in, but. Now, getting back to, after going off on a huge-ass tangent, well, not that huge.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's entertainment.
So, it's been 4 years since we've actually got to talk to we've actually got to, like, work on anything together.
No, I worked with you last year on The Virus.
That wasn't last year. That was 2 years ago, dude.
That was the summer before last year.
All I remember is Captain Leroy. Was that during the same time?
That was last summer.
Wow.
That was this past summer. No, it was the summer before. No, yeah, it must have been around the same time.
Right.
Because I remember I did a trilogy of terrible on purpose movies, and Captain Leroy was the first one, and of course was the best one because of.
What were the other two?
Captain Leroy's Fabulous 70s Space Adventure,
which is what I was part of. Yeah.
Vinnie Bravo's Big Score.
Oh right, I actually really like that one.
Land Sharks 3: The Sharkening Part 2 Evolution.
Oh wait, that's the one that had Sam Allo in it.
Yeah, unintentionally. He brought his army gear over and I killed my neighbor.
Yeah.
With a giant shark made out of cardboard.
That was a good one.
So that's my dream right now is if it could happen, I would be tickled pink as if I could direct a terrible sci-fi movie, like on the Sci-Fi Channel. You know, those like like CGI dinosaurs attack a village of I don't know Eskimos.
Oh yeah,
whatever. And then
I would be willing to help you with that.
And then the main native character has a very thick SoCal accent.
Right.
And
really?
And
I would have imagined it
vaguely Asian looking, but he's an Eskimo. Oh, and he leads the.
Are you trying to allude to Tommy Wiseau, my friend?
No. I don't know. I've never seen The Room or anything he's done.
No, Tommy Wiseau.
I know of him, but I don't know. I've never seen anything he's done.
He's vaguely of some type of color. Or he's vaguely of some type of nationality.
he goes tanning.
And he has a very thick accent. But okay, so we're actually here to talk about projects that you have worked on recently.
Oh, yes.
So, recently you released a short that you had been working on over the summer that I was lucky to shoot B-roll that never showed up in the film.
Yes.
Is Flower 23.
Yes.
So, what was the process of making Flower 23?
It started when I saw Moonrise Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And, that kind of sparked off an idea I had.
Right.
Or, like, the idea for, like, kind of like a quirky indie, and it was basically make a movie that's just, like, just indulge, like, that hipster vibe and, like, Instagram and things like that, but not in that way. But
not
like,
to be ironic.
Yeah, like genuinely, like, explore that and just get it out of my system so I don't wind up making, like, oh, look, my shoes and a leaf, and now it's art. And
right, I hear you.
So,
it was just, you wanted a legitimate foray.
Yeah, I wanted it. And, but everything I do it to teach myself something new.
Right.
So that was, I had just gotten my first DSLR, which was a Rebel T3i. very identical to the one we're using now.
Yeah.
And it was basically more or less to teach myself how to use that camera.
Yeah.
And I had also... I was looking into getting lenses for that.
Oh, right.
And so I'm like looking online and they're like... At their time limit.
Yeah.
You can edit.
Yeah.
Edit around.
Don't worry about it. Well, the fact that it's a video podcast, this whole entire thing, just don't worry about it. Everything is just acknowledge everything.
The dying clock signals the end. But
well,
you just cut to this part where we actually start talking about the thing. But they...
So my podcasts are all natural, dude. Don't care about it. I'm gonna slap on some.
Take our shirts.
Yeah, I'm gonna slap on some royalty-free music underneath it, and voila! Internet famous.
Everyone has.
That's my song.
The IMAX.
Yeah, the IMAX soundtrack. Yeah. But
Okay, so.
Right.
I'm looking online, and they're like, "Look in your closets. Maybe you'll have some old lenses." And I'm like.
Yeah, right.
I don't have art in my family. Like,
it's pretty arty. He plays the vuvuzela, or not the vuvuzela.
The vuvuzela, the bagpipes.
Yeah,
my dad plays the
bagpipes, and he plays the.
Oh, the giant. I have those are in the next room. I can bring one over.
Nah, you don't.
It's basically bunch of.
What is it called? There's like
a boomba.
A boomba.
Google it.
Yes.
Google it. But
I'll put a link underneath.
Yeah. But so I'm just like I was looking in a closet for like an old film camera,
right,
to get sound effects,
and
I find, we're good?
Yeah, we're fine.
And I find a Pentax K1000 35mm film camera with like 3 different prime lenses.
Wow.
And I'm like,
they were prime?
Yeah, this is one of them.
Oh wow,
that was in the.
I did not even know that they were prime. I thought they were. I thought one was a zoom.
There's the 50mm that came with the camera. This is the 28mm, and then there was a telephoto, which I never wound up using. But
right. I shot some of the pictures with the telephoto.
Yeah.
Because you didn't use it that much.
Yeah, it's too heavy, and the adapter doesn't work with it. But
right.
So I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And so I figure, while I have these lenses, I might as well use them.
Right.
And then I had this idea to do like this hipster stuff, and you get like this really kind of vintage look with these old lenses because they're from the earliest of the 80s. I don't know. Right. I don't know where they're from, but.
Well, those things like are circa what I will call Napoleon Dynamite era.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, like mid 80s to early 90s.
Yeah.
Back when we were just tiny tots.
Oh yes.
But so you were So
I got the idea. I just wanted to kind of just do it, like just go off on a hipster vibe. Why not?
Right.
Just to make something, because I had made Into the Night earlier that summer.
Right.
And that was based on a script that I didn't write.
Right.
Basically doing a favor for the main actors, and it was a great experience because I got to work with a lot of people.
Right.
And I got to work with professional actors. Who knew what they were doing, as opposed to other types of professional actors
who yeah. We've
are,
all been there.
Are less experienced, we'll say. But so yeah, that was a great experience, but it wasn't. I didn't really feel like it was mine, you know. So I wanted to make something that was everything about it came out of my head. And
so you wanted it, and if I'm too bold to ask, it was something where it was the quirkiest you could get, right? Like your quirkiest writing you could write.
I just tried to write it weird, I didn't censor myself with what I thought sounded stupid. I was just like, oh, what's a weird, like I wrote it like I would imagine a monologue in a Wes Anderson movie.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what I was channeling, really. And then there is a shot in Flower 23 when the main character winds up on a beach. If you watch, it's only one shot, but it's technically it counts.
Right.
But I went to where they filmed Moonrise Kingdom and got got that shot there.
Where did they film Moonrise Kingdom?
It's Fort Wettrall State Park in Jamestown, Rhode Island.
Oh wait, you and Angie drove up to Rhode Island for for
like 2 days.
Like 2 days.
Yeah, we just
and you lived out of your car. You told me that story.
That was a terrible idea. Don't do that. Get a hotel.
And actually, I'm just gonna be honest because I don't care about the audio, but I think the camera stopped recording, so we're just recording audio.
We're just recording. This is just an audio podcast now?
I think it's just an audio podcast right now. Go check. But I'm pretty sure because they have a limiter on that stupid camera.
Movie recording has been stopped automatically.
Yep.
Install
Black Magic. Yeah.
No.
Our
Magic Lantern.
Yeah, Magic Lantern.
Because there's a feature where it'll start recording again.
Yeah.
Want to hit record again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or are we just gonna?
Yeah.
There we go.
So just walk back in.
We're recording it. Just superimpose images of my movies.
Yeah, no, that I'll
I grant you rights to screenshots for this podcast.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Yeah. So, but So you started conceptualizing this with the script, and then you how long did it take you to write that script? Because I remember you working 3 days. Really? I thought you were working on it for at least a week. I don't really remember.
Maybe actual work.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'd write for a day, and then I'd take a day or two off, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta work on this some more.
Yeah,
but,
right.
like, they were, like, around 3 days where I was like, all right, I gotta work on this now.
Right.
But, it might have been, but
right.
not very long. Less than a week.
So then, when it came time down to filming, you had to choose an actress, and whoever you're...
Yeah, I had Kelsey, the actress I chose to work with, was, been friends with her since high school.
Yeah.
Sophomore year of high school, I think.
Like, we've known her forever.
Yeah, so I knew she was in the area, and I knew she would help out. And actually, I talked to her over the summer, and she named the character Veronica.
Oh, really?
Yes, so she knew about it.
Okay, awesome.
And then I just filmed it, and filming took 3 or 4 days. It was surprisingly long to shoot it. And it was they were like full days. They were like 3 5-hour days to shoot that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, those are full days. 3 to 5 hour days are full for you?
No, 5 at least 5 3 days.
Oh,
5 of 5 hours.
Oh, 5 hours. Right.
And that's just because of light.
Right.
So we filmed in the woods around my house. This is the house in the movie. This is 31 Oakcrest Boulevard in Summerfield, New Jersey, even though that's not my address and that's not my town.
Some of the interiors I thought weren't actually filmed here, though.
A couple of them were at her house.
Right.
And the wall of flowers, which I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
That was... my parents and my brother went on vacation.
Oh, right.
And I stayed behind to film the movie. Mm-hmm. So I had the run of the place, so I emptied out my living room and put up an elaborate thing. Hi.
Hello.
We're talking about how we changed the furniture in the living room and put holes in your wall.
And I never noticed.
You never noticed?
What should they told me?
It's a dog.
The dog eat the cookies.
Have you noticed it?
The casualty, the first batch always looks special. I grabbed the parchment paper instead of the pan, so they kind of like smushed, but there's only
welcome to
fire.
We're doing a podcast.
Yeah, welcome to a podcast.
It's for the internet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Keep the dog away from the cookies.
Yeah.
Look at that. He's a bad boy.
Thank you.
Be nice, we'll cut your other balls off. Oh, we can't do that.
I will admit, he's rather adorable.
He's a... What we got him from this family that wasn't taking care of him.
Oh.
Okay. And the mom was like, you need to take care of the dog or we're going to get rid of him.
You don't talk with your mouth full. This is a podcast, man.
Where are your manners?
Oh, telepathy, Mike.
Oh, man, these are really good.
They're warm up.
Put them up there.
Yeah, cookies. All right. So yeah, 3 days to shoot. And I actually have a war story. Not a war story, but it's guerrilla filmmaking. Some people get upset if you're filming places.
Right.
There's one shot when Veronica gets into the town that she arrives in eventually. Mm-hmm. Where you see it's from inside a window out onto the street.
Right.
And what we had done is we went in there and we were like, hey, do you mind if we do a shot? We shoot one shot real quick. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. And we gave them our name and where they can find the video and all that. And after that, we're like, the place is pretty much empty. Right. Like, employees are coming in, but they're not really there's not really anyone in there. We're the only people that are potentially customers, and we did buy something just to not jokes about it. But there's a part where she makes money taking pictures of people.
Right, I remember that.
And, where she's it worked out better in the end.
Right.
But since there was no one in there, I was like, oh, let's just have you sit at one of these benches and count out the money just real quick so we have a shot. And, of course, you're making a movie. Time gets away from you, and we're probably there for like 10 minutes filming this thing where she's counting money out on a table in this place where they don't know why we're there.
Right.
And they're just like, what are you filming? What are you doing? And we're like, oh. It's like, what do you do with the money? I'm like, oh, crap.
Right.
Me, I'm like, it's a really innocent thing. I'm like, you said you just get one shot. And I was like, do you not want us to use this? And they're like, please don't. I'm just like, okay, thank you, bye.
Right.
And so I deleted it.
However, that scene...
So, the shot out the window, you can't tell where the store is.
Mm-hmm.
And they have all our information, so they might have seen it by now.
Right.
But there's no identifying things about it, and I deleted all the footage that was shot in there right away, just so there was no chance that I would offend anyone.
I remember you making a video based on this.
Oh man, I was so embarrassed about it because I was like, I can't believe that
you got caught being...
I didn't mean anything by it.
Right.
And I just felt bad
it was just an innocent thing.
I accidentally took advantage of their hospitality. Right. So it's a lesson learned. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But, I hope they see it and they like it.
And at least you didn't get caught, at least you didn't get, railroad your thing by the police.
You are not a guerrilla filmmaker until you have a gun pointed at you. A real one. From police.
Yes. Or, who are we talking about?
Sam.
Oh yeah, of course.
Diesel.
Yeah, of course.
Should I tell that story?
No.
Don't tell that story.
No, don't tell that story.
If you're gonna use guns on a film shoot, even if when you're using fake guns that look like real guns.
Right. Even if they look like sci-fi painted guns.
And hypothetically, if you're shooting near a elementary school, notify the police ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, hey, we're shooting a movie with fake guns. It just happens.
Yeah.
By an elementary school and by a train station. And when the train would go by, and also cast professionals, because if you don't cast professionals, the immature, inexperienced, just darn silly folks you're shooting with might wave guns at passing trains as they're dressed up as military people.
Oh, God.
I had a gun pointed at me. I have not worked with those individuals since.
Yes, that's very true. And so you filmed it in 3 days, but you filmed it in August, and you didn't. How long did it take you to edit? Because it's now out. It's December, so it's about 6 months.
Well, I didn't.
Would you on and off work on it? Is that what was going on?
Yeah, I edited on and off. I get a big chunk done, a big chunk done. All in all, it was less than an actual week of editing.
Oh, really?
Because I had a huge semester. I took an extra class to make up for my schedule.
Right.
And I had a bunch of stuff going on.
But focusing wise, so when you were editing it, what was sort of the process that you were thinking about when editing each scene? Because
it was already edited in my head,
Right.
Because I plan things meticulously.
Right.
And then if there's room for improvisation, I'll go ahead and do that. But this movie was scripted so tightly that there wasn't really anything else to do other than I
follow the script.
I didn't use any shots of the town where we went in.
Oh, right.
Because there just wasn't space for him. There wasn't a place for him.
There was no reason for it.
Yeah.
Right. And the one thing I noticed is that you had a narrator.
Yes.
Who was your narrator?
James Brentley? I forget his last name, but I found him on, Fiverr.com.
I know Fiverr.
You know Fiverr?
Yeah.
I found him on Fiverr.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he actually did a little bit more than his
neat?
gig because he was late to deliver.
Oh, really?
So he did a little bit more for me for free.
Oh, that's
that
was super cool.
The narrator did an entire 10-minute movie for $5 because I was able to fit the word count into it.
So what was the word count for him exactly?
It was like 300 words for $5.
So your narration was technically 300 words?
Barely over it. I wrote like 3 extra sentences for him because that's all I could think of.
Oh wow, that's actually pretty impressive.
Thank you.
I mean, Fiverr.
Hey dog.
Fiverr is probably one of the coolest services. I mean, you offer your services on Fiverr slightly, or if you canceled your account.
I have a couple things on there, but I haven't been able to keep up with it.
Right.
It's a luck thing based mostly.
Right.
If you, I need something in my hands.
No, I get you.
If you get on there and you get popular, then you'll get money coming in.
Right.
So, and I had that happen with me, where I had a service where I was photoshopping people's profile pictures.
Oh, right, I remember that.
And then, I had to go on vacation, and I came back, and there was a person that I wasn't, like, satisfying his requirements, like I wasn't doing something, and, like, it was this fat guy that wanted abs, and I'm like, I can't make this look good, sorry.
Right.
And I'm like, but I had to leave on vacation. I'm like, I'm really sorry. I canceled your order. You don't have to worry about it. I apologize. You keep whatever pictures I sent you.
Right.
And he's like, oh, no, it was good. And then he gives me a negative review, but I don't know because I'm out of the country.
Right. Oh,
and
well.
And then, so I haven't gotten any
good stuff
since then because my rating is, like, it's at, like, 80 or something.
Right, but he gave you a negative review because you couldn't spit fairy dust in his face.
Kind of that, and it was just like an incompletion. And
right.
That looks bad, and so.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that one.
But I was on the front page of the website for a couple days.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
Considering your status on YouTube is far more prolific than mine.
I just passed 500,000 hits a few months ago.
I hate you so badly.
In total, with all 3 of my channels.
I know, in total with all 3 of your channels. I only have 1 channel, and I have
a personal channel. I have
19,000. That is my.
You
know, but that's from 2000.
Adorable. Oh.
Yeah, that's from 2007. Well, that's from starting my channel in 2007 and then seriously working at it is since 2000. 2008.
Well.
Oh no, I started my channel in 2005.
I have a couple reasons I'm not more into it.
Right.
Because the monetization is not. It's a lot easier to make money off of it now.
Yeah, no,
than it used to be.
Super. I'm like this way. I'm like this close. Like here's partner, and I'm this close. There's just like some weird haul. Like it's the view counts.
I know exactly what it is because no matter what you're doing,
right.
There's an audience for it. As long as you have quality material coming out,
right.
You're gonna find an audience. So that's the key: is to make something that people will watch.
Right.
And if you're making something, people will watch it.
I mean, for me, it was the reviews, and then.
But here's this is the biggest thing is consistency and having a schedule, and that's something I can't adhere to. So,
and that's something I can't adhere to. That's why I said if I can make a movie a month, I'm content. Which the past 2 or 3 years in college, I've been sort of consistently putting out a video at least once a month, and then this.
But that doesn't hold people though.
No, it doesn't.
I haven't put out videos in months and months and months, and I'm not.
Right.
I'm not into it, but like I'll do. If I wanted to. If you want some cookies.
I'll have one, sure.
And you're just sitting there, and I'm like, oh, I feel bad because we kind of like chowed down on them.
But like if I.
Right.
The money that comes from it, it's not enough. It's not. I've made like $20 over 5 years if I'm lucky.
Right, and that's the same thing with me. I've made $11, and that's with my 1 channel. And then I'm a producer on Blip, like a recognized producer on Blip, and I've made $3.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But they
don't pay out until 100 on YouTube, and they don't pay out till you're 25 on Blip. So it's like,
But they, so yeah, there's that. It's easier to just get an actual job.
Right.
And then, I'll have an idea every once in a while. I actually have a couple episodes I filmed that I haven't uploaded. I made,
Are these the new Vantage stuff?
Yeah. Okay. I made an LED light box out of Christmas lights.
Oh.
If you take a piece of my other friend had that same idea, and he did it for cheaper for like $10.
Oh, right.
You can have an like a 300 LED panel, 300 LED panel.
All right.
If you just cut holes in cardboard and pop Christmas lights in them.
Very nice.
Or if you do it in a sturdier way.
Right.
But that's my.
I would go with foam core just because there's a little bit more.
I think that's what he did.
Yeah, consistency with it.
But
LEDs are so blue, though. Like their light is so blue. I mean it.
Cine style.
I use more the I go with the more like neon or whatever those are. They call them halogen. I don't fucking know at this point. But so
start at it.
Yeah, we're pushing at like 25 minutes, I think. I don't know. Oh, actually, we're over 35.
Oh my.
So, actually, and I'm pretty sure this is stopped recording again, which is fine. I really need to get I gotta really get Magic Lantern.
Edit freely.
Yeah.
It's great. I couldn't use my camera without it really, because
and Magic Lantern it stops off. It stops the whole like 15-minute recording time thing.
It doesn't stop it, but it immediately starts recording again after it stops.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, so that's a lifesaver.
Yeah, so if you're recording something for a long period of time, it'll...
Because like the whole reason I got like, I think the card that I have in there is 32. It is like a 32 gig, which was mad expensive, even if it's cheap.
You gotta buy them online, dude.
I
got a 32 gigabyte Class 10 SD card for $20.
I hate you.
HP. Look it up.
Jesus.
Online, yeah.
Class 10.
Here, I'll look it up right now.
No, you don't have to look it up. Fine, do it right now.
I have to.
But
the internet.
Talk while you're doing it.
So, yeah, no, but I did a video about it.
Yeah, you did.
That's the last New Vantage video I did, was about SD cards.
Yeah.
Because I saw that. I was in...
Why aren't you doing more New Vantage stuff?
I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
I'm in class, and I was holding down a job. I just became unemployed, so I need to figure out how to do that.
Where were you working at?
My college's football team.
Right,
I was recording their practices and games, so I was getting...
since it's end of football season for college,
yep.
Yeah, I hear you.
Unemployed, and I don't know if they're going to hire me back next season.
Oh, how come?
Because I'm graduating.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But what are your plans for said future in the filmmaking game? Oh, wow, that is
Yeah, look at that, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the exact one I have. I'm going to live in the area around my college for one more, like, it would be a semester, but I'll just be living in the area in an apartment just to kind of get out of my house and just see if I can drum up some business and kind of sustain myself.
Right, and you'd be working as an independent, right?
Yeah, just
freelance.
We'll see. I started work on a reality TV show that I was talking to you about earlier,
right.
But it's not a professional thing. The guy running it,
professional, you mean it's syndicated? So it's not syndicated.
No, it's this guy who, I don't want to drop any names because he's not. I don't know what's going to come of it, and I don't want to say anyone's name who's involved just in case
that's fine.
They take offense.
Yeah, no, but it's when I mean syndicated it's probably going to go on TV, but it's not going to be like MTV.
Well, it's basically I'm filming a pilot and then he's going to shop it to networks.
Yeah, that's what it...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But he seems like he's a well-connected guy, so, who knows.
We'll see.
And it'll help if I'm in the area. Mm-hmm. But it's my friend is the main guy on it.
Right.
He's like, the guy in charge who's funding the whole thing.
Right.
Got in touch with my friend, so he's the main guy.
Oh, okay.
And then if he's like, we need an extra camera or we need a boom operator,
right.
He'll bring me on and I'll get paid.
Right.
And then...
What type of equipment are you working on with that thing?
Canon 5D Mark II and my T3i.
And then for like sound, what are you thinking?
Some Tascam recorder, and then...
Oh, the Tascams are nice, dude. It's just as good as an H-Worm. See, this is the talking shop part of talking shop.
Seriously, just edit it down.
Yeah, no, it's
just cut out the... Leave the cookies. Ooh, cookies.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I mean, some of the video stuff, the reason I wanted to try the video podcast thing was it's something that I can bring to the new to the podcast game, because there's not a lot of video podcasts.
You could interview Angie. She does art. You want to? You don't want to be involved? Look, she painted that picture of Christopher Walken.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Oh man, you gotta see what she does.
I've seen some of the work. I've seen both of your work. But considering this is the I think we are pushing the limit of what I wanted how long this podcast to be.
You go to albums.
I'm gonna just say that it was a pleasure talking to you, Patrick Gibney. It's always fun getting you into the studio. And by studio, I mean your basement.
It's carved into linoleum.
Linoleum?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
All right.
That's awesome, Manji.
It's a lino cut. Right? Lino cut. Yeah.
What's lino cut?
And carved into linoleum. Put ink on it and then run it through a press.
Oh, scoring?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. But it's always
sorry, hijack your podcast.
Yeah, it's just like hijack my podcast all out.
No, let's talk about what I want to talk about.
No, listen, this podcast, like, I didn't want it to be anything like super.
Well, I hope it was entertaining and informative.
Nah, like I said, the reason I'm leaving all of this in, the whole thing is that I wanted it to be sort of like a fly on the wall on a conversation. Huh. That's kind of what my podcast, I wanted it to be like.
You will be dead in 24 hours.
Yeah, right. So if this hits the net, guys, you are.
This is going online.
Yeah, it's something really special. Actually, can you look something up online, because this is super cool and I think you would like it. Thanks for like pulling the thing and like, you know, the one thing I asked.
Did I ruin?
Don't rub the.
Did I ruin everything?
No, you're fine. But look up.
I ruined everything.
Nah, you're fine. So this is. Thank you so much for like just sitting down and talking with me.
Oh yeah.
Because
of course I don't want to block my.
My
voice.
Yeah.
Message.
But thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me. Always awesome. Probably gonna ask you to come on at some other point because we'll do like a Skype one too.
Yeah, have definitive questions so we keep on track.
Well, I mean the whole definitive questions interview wise, it was just something. This is a pilot. Yeah, and like I said, fly on the wall. So that's what that's kind of what my podcast is. Okay. It's kind of like a mixture of shooting the shit while talking shop. Because that's how I do my conversations.
Alright, cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man.
Thank you. Should I plug my...
Yeah, plug your stuff.
Alright, so if you want to see my movies, including Flower 23, you can go to this annotation. Or there will be a link somewhere.
In the description. You can also just plug it vocally, because some people do that.
Patrick Gibney...
At youtube.com.
Or youtube.com/Patrick Gibney.
And you could also check him out on youtube.com/NewVantage.
NewVantageStudios.
NewVantageStudios, right, because NewVantage got taken.
Yes. They don't
so NewVantageStudios, and then youtube.com. It isn't I.
It isn't I.
All
but
one
that
word.
Yeah,
that one's a little bit more...
Lowercase, one word, no punctuation, and there's nothing good on there.
Yeah,
that's personal.
Right, that is the humble beginnings.
That's my inner middle school child.
Yeah.
Shameful.
You'll see...
YouTube?
You'll see a lot of my stuff. As always, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Since this is the first time, welcome.
If you made it to the end, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
You have more time than I.
Yeah.
More patience than I, should say.
As always, you can check out most of my stuff on thehazardchannel.com and also the Hazard Channel Blip TV / the Hazard Channel, and youtube.com as YouTube / ChookingHazard12. So thank you once again, and we are out.